What is up, everyone? Keith here, and in this video we're going to be talking about builds. Now, I have already made a video on how to gear up for your first raid if you don't know how to do so, and how to, use the merchants, and basically on how to buy stuff and put stuff very quickly in and out of your inventory, like so. If you need a refresher, go ahead and check out that video, or if you want some tips on how to do a few of the shortcuts, go ahead and check that out. A link will be down in the description for that. But today we're going to be talking about builds and how to build a gun quicker and get geared up a little bit quicker. Let's say you're playing with your friends and they are always constantly waiting on you because you can't decide what gun you want to use, or what you're going to be taking into a raid. This is also going to be helpful for if you're doing one of those missions where you need a certain set of armor or a certain gun. This will be helpful for that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut ahead and have a clean inventory, and we will start fresh, and I'll show you how to, do the good stuff. Alright, so now we have a clean inventory, and we are going to go ahead and basically try to gear up a little bit quicker than how we usually did, or usually do. So obviously one way to buy items is from the vendors themselves, but this could be a little bit tricky to navigate. Sometimes you're looking for a specific set of mod and you can't find it. I've had that happen to me multiple times and it's kind of annoying. So there is also a few other ways that you could do it. Let's say you're looking for something specific and you know the name of it. You obviously could go to the flea markets. You could go, let's say I was looking for, I don't know, Euro Tech holographic site. I could just go ahead and put EOTech, and let's say this is the one that I wanted to buy. I could go ahead and do it that way. And that's pretty helpful too. But let's say there's obviously a lot of mods for guns, and there's no way that you could remember all of them unless you use them quite frequently. Usually the ones I use very frequently, I kind of start picking up on their names, but sometimes it is a little bit tricky to know exactly what you need. For example, I'm gonna go ahead and put a gun together real quick, and I'll show you how long it's gonna take for me to do that. So I'm gonna buy this gun. Alright, so I made the gun basically, you know, how I wanted it. This is all the mods that I wanted, and it has everything that I want. And, you know, that took a little bit of time to do because, you know, I was searching through everything, making sure it was the right ones that I wanted, and, you know, making sure, you know, making sure that everything was right. So, you know, it did take a little bit of time because, you know, there's some things that I don't know where they are, and it gets a little bit tricky. So here is, you know, basically the simpler way that I found out on doing it. So this could work with a few different things, but let's say you made a gun, and, you know, this is the first time I made the gun, and I'm like, I like this gun, I like how it looks. So if I wanted to, you know, kind of like save it, I guess, usually you would take most of the mods apart, or at least the ones you know that you need to buy. Everything else that is pretty standard could stay on it. So these are all the mods that I need to buy, and then this is the gun that I'm putting it on. So what I found out on actually doing, let me just put that down there. What I found out is kind of a quicker way to do it is, if you double click the set attachment that you're gonna want in the future, you could just go ahead and press filter by item. You know, this is assuming that you already bought it, and this is the build that you want to kind of save. You will go filter by item, and then just go ahead and add it to the wish list. And now basically it's going to be on your wish list. So if we do that for all of them, you know, just add them all to our wish list, which could kind of suck in the beginning. It's pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie, you know, doing this for each of the attachments. But, you know, once I've done it this one time, it's just gonna be very quick for me to buy everything and put a gun together. So yeah, personally, I am liking this way a little bit more than how I used to mod guns, because it is a little bit simpler. Because now, you know, once all my items are in the wish list already, I basically have them all here, and I just go bloop, buy, bloop, buy, bloop, assuming that there's nothing there, bloop, buy, bloop, buy, bloop, buy. I know that in the future it's actually kind of going to be like the same thing anyways, where it's going to be like, it's basically going to be a little bit different. So let's say I put everything back on here, right? You know, everything's already, okay. So everything is already, you know, basically on the gun. You know, there's a little save button down here. If you press it, nothing happens. In the future, I know that it's basically going to save your build, and, you know, it's basically going to be the same thing that I'm doing now in a way. It's just going to open up the flea market, and it's going to show me, you know, where to buy it and this and that. So currently that other way is not implemented. Like I said, you can't save builds. But with the way that I started doing it, is just adding it to the wish list. So now, basically, all I'm going to have to do is I'm going to put another gun together. The same gun that I just put up. So all I will have to do is go to trading. I will go to flea market, go to wish list. Just basically start from the top. And just make my way down. Oh, okay. Start from the top, and I will just make my way down. So I'll just go... boop. I will go boop, and you can even go faster. You know, you press purchase Y, and look how much more efficient this is, rather than, you know, the other way that I was doing it, where I was looking for the gun, couldn't find the attachments, and it just really, you know, kind of sucked. So, boom. See, it's so much more quickly. I already bought everything that I needed. So now I would just do like the same thing. Just take everything that I don't need off. And then just start. Boom. Done. And that's how you make, you know, basically it's the same gun. And that was so much more easier, quicker. And, you know, the same thing could apply. Let's say you wanted a specific set of armor. Because there's some missions or some quests that you actually need to... Okay. It's just not going to load. But there's some quests where you need a certain set of gear. One example is that you need to wear, I believe it's an AVS vest. Which isn't too hard to type AVS. But let's say you needed an AVS vest and a fleece hat. You could just go ahead and add both of these into your wish list. So now basically this is going to be like one build. So it's like, okay, I'm doing this quest, I need all this stuff, I'm just going to keep buying the same thing and let's go, baby. You know, I'm ready to go. My kid is right here. So let's say I die and my friend died really fast. Boom, we're already ready to go to the next raid. It's like I already have everything. I have all the mods that I need. I have all, you know, the armor, the vest. I know in this kit it doesn't per se have a vest. So yeah, right now it kind of sucks that this is basically just one build. You can't have multiple builds. But I think it's very useful when you're doing those missions where it's like you have to use a specific gun. You know, might as well mod it out if you could afford it. You know, mod it out the way that you like it. Get your armor, get your, you know, helmets, get all the stuff that you need for a raid, and just start, you know, farming it or, you know, cranking it out. Just try to like speed run it, do your best, and just it's basically just a very quick way that I found to do certain missions. You know, just I'm ready. Like, let's not stop for any, you know, BS. You know, I may have got Tarkov that previous raid, but let's go. We're going back in. No time wasting, you know. I'm ready. I have my gun. I have my fleece hat or whatever. Basically, whatever you need for that mission. And it doesn't have to be for missions. I just think it's very useful now since, you know, there's missions that you have to use certain guns. And trust me, they're annoying. Like, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I think with this, like, method, they're a little bit more easier to build the weapons the way you like it. I know there's one for, you know, the AK 74U, you know, AKM, you know, there's certain guns that you need for missions, and it's just like, boom. Now you have a kind of a quicker way to make your guns and make your kit, assuming that it's just one kit. And if you wanted to make another kit, basically, you could continue adding them to your wish list. Let's say you just, you know, wanted to add a whole bunch. I'm not sure if there's a max limit that you could have in here, but let's say that, you know, you wanted multiple kits. It could get a little bit confusing there, but then again, you probably are smart enough to know, you know, what goes where. It's not just gonna be like me blindly like, oh, buy, next one, buy, next one, buy, next one, buy. You know, the way I do it is just one kit at a time. So it's like, yep, I know I'm gonna have to use this little baby AK, so let's just make a good kit right away, and boom. And I know this wasn't really on how to mod a gun. That's a little bit of a different video. I'll try to explain, you know, how to mod guns and what guns need and stuff, this and that. But I just think that this is a good way to get kits ready faster. And I know it really sucks when you're playing with your friends and, you know, they're taking a long time to put something together. It's like, come on, hurry up, I want to play. But yeah, you know, so I definitely would say share this with other people, spread the word about this, because I feel like it's knowledge that people should know. I didn't know this. I barely found this out like maybe a few days ago, and I think it's a feature that not a lot of people actually use yet. I know in the future, like I said, it's just gonna be like you're just gonna be able to save it, and then you just pick the kit, and it's gonna basically do the same thing. and you can have basically more loadouts. So yep, that's how you do that. So yeah, very good. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about in this video. Just a quick way on how to gear up. And yeah, so I hope this helped. I hope this was information for you. You may have already known this. I know there's still a lot of things that I don't know. There's probably still a lot of things you don't know. This game is like a learning game, and we have to learn from each other. So yeah, I wish I do this a while ago though. But hopefully you now know it and it is helpful. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now and end the video. So I will see you guys in the other video, in another video. Bye.